Good morning, everyone. Microphone check, screen check. Looks like everything is working correctly here. Sorry for the little bit of a delay this morning. We had a slight little issue. Posted about that in the chat room. We don't have the testing for the COVID stuff until tomorrow, so we just gotta go until then, I guess. I don't know. So I guess we're just gonna play it by ear. As of right now, I do have a little bit of a cough. My throat's kind of messed up, but I have had that for a little while now. Who knows, right? But if I take some pauses or whatever, remember the kids are home. They're kind of in the background. It might be a little bit more of a weird day today, all things considered. But anyway, good morning. Looks like the mic check, mic check and everything else is working correctly, so we should be good to go. So, welcome. Hopefully all of you have been able to rest up and get ready for the day ahead and all that fun stuff. Don't forget, on the right side of the screen there, make sure to read through the Live Trader Morning Prep PDF. Very important to go through and understand everything inside there. And then, of course, don't forget to grab your morning DP levels. A little bit late on the post for obvious reasons. But I've got all those posted for you. So those are taken care of. And then, that's really about it. Taking a look at the news, you can see that I definitely got late on the post. We've got some that already have the results in. The earlier 8:30 news announcements, those are out of the way, and we've got all of those taken care of. Aside from that, there really isn't anything else. Today's Tuesday, so we've got the API weekly crude oil numbers. Those are coming out later today. We don't know what the forecast is or the actual yet. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how that shows up. The last time around, they totally missed it. This time around, we'll have to see if they've got some juice. Alright, trying to jump through this a little bit quicker, so we've got all of that taken care of. That's good. Get that out of the way. Get that up in the corner. Alright. So, looking at the Nasdaq so far as to what's going on, we've got a continuation phase to the upside, which is looking relatively sturdy, and it's hanging on, right? It keeps wanting to go. So with the continuation to the upside, I suppose we kind of have to wait and see. Maybe they want to get an inside retest. The market tried to go above. It did look like it was going to hold on, but then failed all the way down. What's interesting is we missed the low. So the fact that they missed the low and now we're coming back up and we're sort of missing the high as well, this could be telling us that, hey, this channel structure isn't actually here, or it could be that we have a little bit of an overshoot, undershoot, trying to get a continuation down. That's obviously not very good for the bulls, but there are some issues, you know. So as far as the overall movement is concerned, we've got some relatively decent, upward momentum. And if we look at the upward swings, we've got the L2 into a continuation L3. The L3 finally broke higher, and when traders are looking for that L1 continuation, they didn't get it. Just like we were talking about in the video yesterday. Well, we're back. This is the break-even point, right? This is a zone of some pretty heavy resistance. That's going to be tough. We'll see, but this is the spot. Over on the S&P, there really isn't much of a change, although the one big consideration is that we had that continuation phasing up with the, like we were talking about again in the video, the L2 into the kind of deeper pullback L3 breakout to the highs, but they actually had the L1, then went a little bit further up into another one. Finally have a nice deep pullback into the L2s. These bulls have a shot. Right? I mean, the bulls are looking for a continuation phase to the upside off of the L2s, but it is disappointing that the third time around the bulls on the L1 failed. So there may be some disappointed bulls who are exiting at break-even when we get back up there. We have to wait for proof, and seeing this jumbotron wick on the highs kind of adds to that proof, you know? Got some concerns. Yeah, definitely, Bram, no problem. Saw you drew it on the closes rather than the wicks. Was that intentional? Yeah, I pretty much draw all of my measurements off of the closes as far as the endpoint goes, because almost always that's going to force the market or force the drawing to be deeper to get a value pullback. I basically have trained myself to always look at value in that sense because the close is obviously almost always lower than the high. And if it's not, then you just measure the high anyway. So I measure it off of the close instead. Personal preference, either one is fine. There's not really any difference, but To me, I like it from the fact that if I'm going to be using them as an area of interest, I want to buy, if I'm looking to go long as an example, I want to buy as cheap as I can. So measuring off the closes usually means I'm going to be a little bit cheaper. Over on gold, we've got a relatively strong continuation move to the upside so far, and the market doesn't look like it wants to stop going. Hey, Caesar, how's it going? So as far as the overall continuation, we've got kind of a wedge-ish. Like, this thing's gross. I mean, really. We do have this kind of narrowing wedge inside of here, but there again, that one's kind of gross. Every time they finally get something that sticks, they sort of break away from the structure and create a new structure. We had this bear cycling to the downside. They tried getting a wedge that broke the lows, rotated up. Okay, you know, maybe they just widen that out a little bit. The highs break a little bit further up, so we can go off of that. Then they break a little bit further up. I mean, none of them are really sticking. The only one that really looks like it has anything of staying power right now, and that's just because of current price action and where it is, well, like we have drawn here. That is obviously not perfect. It's kind of breaking above it, but it looks like the bulls tried to get a rally up, and now they're failing down. So if they're looking for a corrective phase, this is a really nice spot to get it. It'd be down in like the 45s. We'll see if they can get it. Over on crude oil, we've got mostly sideways action. Again, still kind of stuck inside this wedge-ish, whatever you want to call this. But at least we've got something that looks a little bit more solid now with this continuation down. The market's tried to break above the highs. If we look at the very small microcycling, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, to me, this looks more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we haven't had the fifth yet. But either way, one thing is to be sure, if we look back, and if this is a corrective phase, most corrective phases ends in the fourth wave of the previous, right? So we've got wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, where's 4? What about there? We also have the positive 1 DP resistance there. We have like triple top resistance just ahead of that around the 81s. There's a lot of crap up here that's looking to press back against the market. That is a big old brick wall up there. So definitely going to be looking for a zone of resistance inside of here, if they're able to get it. Now, the overall trend is also moderately bearish, not really proving much, but we'll see. How's it going, Ace? Good morning. Over on Bitcoin, we've got a pullback, finally. Nice dip, too. Man alive, what a dip. This was one of the concerns that we were talking about with this overshot on the highs. Sometimes you get that overblow corrective move to the downside to where? Remember where we were talking about? 60 to 58? Does that ring a bell? It should. The low was 58 and some change. Really, really nice pulse to the downside. Absolutely phenomenal in terms of the overall structure and how it's set up. Worked out perfectly. Now, that said, we haven't necessarily seen the bulls come in yet, but if we have this overall drive, it's setting up picture perfectly in terms of the overall trap. Remember, those previous two major swings? They fell right in that area. I mean, along with everything else that we talked about, there's so many things pointing out as this area of support. And, well, it's kind of showing up to the party. If we're looking at the 15-minute chart, we do have a relatively big old V bottom down to the -1. That was that test down into the 58s and then cycle back up. We don't have proof of a reversal yet, but there is definitely a possibility of an avalanche wedge. And, man, this thing is just screaming to the downside. So we'll have to wait and see, but if we start breaking above, then realistically, continuation back up would be the anticipation. The larger time frame suggests that we're a little bit sideways and we've got some trouble. So, knowing that we are sideways and we're at the lows of the range kind of makes sense. All right, let's swap over here. Get that there, perfect. That there, perfect. Alright, that over there. Sorry, I'm trying to move some stuff around here. Don't be a stupid thing. Jeez, there we go. Alright, there, I think we're all set up now. Perfect. So in terms of what's going on, we were talking about this a little bit yesterday as well, but in the 15-minute perspective, we are looking at the sellers trying to get their objectives to the downside and if they had any follow-through. And when you have that supportive nature coming off of that, you've got to take some notes and concerns because that could cause some problems. And sure enough, that caused some problems. When the market came back, they couldn't even test it, and now they're starting to cycle away. Maybe we get another test of that scalp target to kind of finish things off, but that 16,147, that's a big spot. If all 8 folks watching will hit the like button, it will make the ES market go down. Do we want it to go down? Is that... That's funny. I love it. So the overall movement that we've got going on in the Nasdaq, I mean, we know, right? The sellers are trying to get that rotation to the downside. They're trying to get it to cycle. The question now is, well, have they been able to go far enough? Are they stuck? What's happening? So, is my volume going to load? Hello? Or up, you pick, yeah. It depends. Give me a minute. I'll let you know. Alright, apparently that doesn't want to draw. I don't know what's going on with that. Let's try again. I mean, really, even if we just looked at that last double bottom to the highs, the first cycle... Oh, that's right. It's bugged volume. That's why it's not working. So if I go over here, it's going to take a minute because it's got to download a full days of data because it's bugged. That's why. Hey, RJ, how's it going? Good morning, everybody else so far. I don't know why my volume's not loading. Something's messed up. What about if I move it? I kind of need that one. Like, this is an important... okay. Well, how about if we go from the bottom all the way across? And we change this to minute. What the heck is going on, Nasdaq? This thing is... Okay. Well, apparently it doesn't want to give me the order flow at the moment. Okay. I mean, I know my volume data from yesterday is bugged, so... That's awesome. Well, welcome, RJ. Good to see you, my friend.
Saying that oil may reach up to 120.
Is my data messed up?
By the end of the first
Hang on.
2022.
Something's not right. Yeah, my data's messed up. All right, hang on. I was gonna say my charts aren't moving. My time and sales isn't populated. Hang on. Uh-oh. Okay, well, we're getting the charts back. Yeah, it's like I wasn't even connected. This is the same data. What the crap? Alright, hang on. That's how we're starting the day. Come on, Bessie. Nope, there we go. Okay. Now we got some time in sales. Okay. Yeah, RJ, for your first day in, if you couldn't tell, this is maybe not if this is the first time you're in. I'm a little bit under the weather, and we just found out that my kids had a exposure to COVID, and now we've got to get them tested. So the kids are home. Today's a little bit of a mess. So if you can stick through today, you'll be good. So let's see here. We got a couple minutes until the open here. We got about 6 minutes. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna grab something to drink, and then we'll rock and roll. 2 seconds. Alright, we're back. Oh man, it's all good. Even if you LOL my situation, it's all good. I got thick skin. It may sound like I'm a prepubescent teenager right now with my voice, but we'll get it. Ay, man, my voice. Flashback 15 years, right? Jeez. Oh no, 20 years? Jeez, I'm getting old. I take that back. I'm not. I just feel like crap today. That's all. We've got the back and forth movement that we have now that I know that my charts are moving. We're back to that 147 area. Let me see. Does my order flow work? Please? Yes. No, it's still bugged. It's still bugged. It's not even including the high. What if we go over here? Oh, well, at least it loads. All right, good enough. So as far as the overall movement that we've got going on, the sellers will be looking for a downside momentum shift. And this new POC, I don't know where this POC was. Right, 16,175 is a little bit of an issue, considering that there might have been a POC here, and my volume data is bugged, so I don't know which one. I've got to kind of look at this as a bit of a zone more than anything else. So I'll measure it off the low side. The scalpers' objectives have not been hit. So, in terms of the downside objective, with this big wick on the top and the sell side action that we've got going on, it would make a lot of sense to see this follow through and keep going to at least grab the sell side targets. Let's move this down a little bit now that we know where it's at. That would be right around 125.75. Get rid of that. So that right there is the POC scalpers targets. That way I don't forget what I was talking about. Start taking vitamin D3, vitamin C, zinc, ASAP. They work on... Yeah, so for me, I actually take vitamin D and zinc, a zinc supplement that has vitamin C in it already every morning. So I very much appreciate your input. Yeah, definitely. Luckily, I've already got that locked and loaded, and we hopefully are good. I had a morning tea with some honey and shilajit in it to try to open things up a little bit as well. We're on the right path. I'm feeling all right. I can just tell my throat is obviously a little bit wonky donkey. All right, 9:28. That is the last kind of big time zone until we hit 9:30. 9:28 is the final adjustments to at the open trades. Next big bump in volume rather, is going to be at 9:30, obviously. The overall continuation that we have so far, starting things off, we've got this kind of, man, what a gross looking move. We've got a new high, then down into a new low, possibly trying to create a little bit of bottom-sided support. I mean, realistically, if we're looking at this, the last time we had any sizable pullback would have been over here. They rallied up into the new high. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Will the data, can I do it to the high, or is it going to bug? Okay, so we have the initial bulls defense point, which was built up at around the 170.75s. And, I mean, pretty obvious, right? They defended it. It even slid through a little bit. After that slide through, if we measure that off of an actual risk perspective, right? Looking at, did they take their targets? Well, you tell me, did they take 2 to 1? Seems like it, right? So we've got a 2 to 1. The objective was hit. The sellers obviously... well, buyers turning into sellers. Obviously, buyers got out of the way. They took their targets, and they still bought for another scalp. The greedy SOBs. They still got the scalp, and then we rotate down to a new low. So as far as the overall momentum that we've got going on, both sides are winning, which is indicative of being in a range, obviously. So then we have to look back at the wider perspective. If we're in a range, then what's the bigger picture doing? Well, the bigger picture is also kind of going sideways, but starting to tilt a little bit to the downside. Maybe they're just trying to reach out to those 125.75s. We'll see what they want to do. 9:30 open. Here we go. Stock exchange is open. A little bit of bullish momentum right out of the gates. That's the first response so far.
Just got some comments here from ECB's One, just speaking to EconoStream Media about 20 minutes
Got a
ago
little
now,
bit of
so
bullishness stepping up on these
the
wicks.
global macroeconomic environment has changed significantly
Heads
over
up.
the last 3 months. Thus,
Hey, Brad, how's it going?
the uncertainty faced by ECB policymakers, it wouldn't take much in terms of exogenous developments to push the Eurozone consumer price inflation to 2%. Watch does go on to say that
Nice little flash down. Support down in these lower, like, 153s where the earlier shorts tried taking it. Might be able to find something down there. In terms of the initial volume out of the gates, yeah, it's sided on the 158s. And the bulls just lost that, so. A lot of wicks building up. Starting to tap back above the 158s. Can they hold it? Ooh, nice little close above it. The 158s become a nice little point of support for the bulls. I was not fast enough to respond to that little wick down. That happened instantaneously. Possibility for a little trap underneath the previous bull bar.
And that full EconoStream Media with ECB's Watch article is available on the Financial Juice feed now if you do want to have a read.
Nope. Couldn't get the pullback. And the one pullback that did happen happened so fast that me being a human, I couldn't respond. Okay. Well, we did have the bullish continuation to the upside, but I didn't quite get the dip that I wanted to. And now here I sit watching it go without me. As long as you can spell socks, right? We do have more bullish building up into these 180s. Objective, obviously, is going to be settlement, but look at this rally back to the upside. We've got to ask ourselves, are they trying to reach back for something? Well, if we look back at this this overall back and forth. Oh, jeez, the POC's down at the bottom? Okay. How about since the top? Now, 191. See, there we go. Now, we might be able to find that these longs who are trying to get the rotation back up are starting to get a little bit nervous around these 191s. See the selling coming in? It's like, what happened to the bulls, right? I didn't get filled. That was tough. Yeah, that was not very nice, Nasdaq. These 191s, the Nasdaq's still trying to challenge into it. Not hearing our crickets back in this move up, though. Looks like support still building in the 180s, possibly a twin reversal, maybe, down here. Get a nice little bear bar down and then a bull bar flip back up. There we go. Nice little, jeez, it's not little anymore. Big bull bar flip back to the upside. Continuation up does trigger the longs in, although a lot of longs would like to see a pulse back in the 185s, or they're just not going to wait. This seems like a FOMO dip that a lot of buyers will try to buy in hopes that it goes back up, and that's the type of dip that will rip your face off. Look at that twin reversal on the highs, too. I don't want to buy into that. I love the long, and it's in the area that I wanted to, but it's after it already jumped up from where I wanted the pullback. FOMO dips are working. We're seeing some irrational bullishness picking up. That could be the sign that we're gearing up above these larger POCs for a move back towards the top. We still also, remember, don't have the scalpers targets, so they're very much not happy, and they're getting squeezed. Well, if we're focusing back above the POC, and the fact that in the shorter term, now that I know my volume's going to work, the shorts tried getting it to go down and they're failing back above, they've got some massive problems. Shorts are heavily stuck right now. Big time. So, if they're stuck, where are they stuck from? Right, well, last move down, POC was at the 158s. No POC shifts. No
according to
POC
China
shifts.
Daily, the US and
No
China have
POC
made a deal
shift.
on journalists' visas.
No POC shift. Wow, sellers are getting obliterated right now. Woo, man. Okay, so this is heavy gas pedal to the floor right now because shorts are underwater and they're getting squeezed. So bulls are going to keep hitting this thing hard. Geez, tick strike's at a positive 14. Okay. Short-term scalping only, obviously. Short-term scalping support down in the 215s, 214s. No pullback yet. Next short-term pullback zone is going to be in like the 23s. Still very, very high up. Kind of oppressing bear bars, too. Not a huge fan. There we go. Now, if they can dip down in the low 20s, it would be a bit more favorable. 22s-ish. Again, short-term scalps. That's about all there is. I can't get a pullback. It won't do it. I know the shorts are getting squeezed, but I'm still not going to buy the high. Sometimes following a trade plan is really frustrating. Next short-term pullback going to be probably sub-30s. It's going to have to dip a little bit further down. Shorts are getting absolutely thrashed right now. Small little pent-up aggression in here.
Area inflation is most probably above 2% in 2022.
Still, I would still rather see a little bit more of a pullback. Low 30s, even upper 20s. Ace pulling through the 10-point rally. Nice. Good job. It swerved me by like 3 ticks. Down at the lows. It's all good.
ECB's one.
Big volume stacking up. Look at that volume stacking up here. Woo, they shifted the POC. Okay. Wow. Holy moly. So if that's their POC, then their break-even's got to be hovering up. Whoop, no, don't delete the candles. I need those. Oof. That's brutal. $240s is the POC. Sellers aggressively selling into it and not holding. To me, that looks like they doubled, tripled, quadrupled up, did whatever they needed to do to get it down into the scalp target. And that scalp target is right at the base of those last few candles. The scalpers are jumping ship. I would love to see if I can get in the 3650s. Wow, that wick happened so fast. Okay. Are they going to let the sellers out underneath that little dip? Nope. Maybe? There they go. Nice little flush into that low. That's going to allow the sellers who've been stuck at the lows, who averaged up into the 40s, to get out of their break-evens at a scalper's objective. First little pop back up into break-even. I'll sell 2. First one to compensate the break-even of the other one. We'll see if we can get this to rally back up towards the highs, though. Sellers re-outing on that dip. Whoa! What the hell was that? Okay. Jeez. Alright, bulls. Dang, man. See if they can get that pulse back above the highs. That's a really good way to hit the gas pedal through the bottom of the car. Holy crap. Wicks on the top. This little dip seems more likely that bulls are going to be buying into this dip. That's going to scare the crap out of any longs or any shorts that were in. Trying to sell the top, trying to get that greedy move down. They got the scalp. Then you see a move like that, like, whoa, wait a minute. I've only got the one, so my flexibility is a little bit lackluster here. Nasdaq pushing through. Big old beautiful bull bar to get things going. 240 POC support still holding. Looking for that pulse above the top. Get them stops. Those stops are up there and they're real tasty. Get them. Get them. Yeah, I got them. Very nice blow off above the top. Again, I only have the one, so my flexibility is a little bit mute. But continuation to the upside is obviously on the table. Beautiful move. It looks like everybody took the scalper's target too. Sheesh. All right. 88.5 was your entry. Even better. Took it off at 92.4. Nice. Great work. Little bit of choppy, sloppy back and forth. Picked up on a nice little scalp back to the top, but right now where they're just getting kind of hung up. Remember, the shorts are desperately stuck. So, I mean, the bullish continuation does still make a lot of sense, but... well, they're not giving us a whole lot to work with, you know? Nice little dip back down. These low 30s are going to be a real big zone of interest, but I'd prefer to see them, again, dig down into like the mid 20s, low 20s. Ooh, that was a little aggressive. Okay. Well, we've got some bearish candle gapping to the downside, too. I'm going to hold off for a minute. Something's up. Might just be a trap. Looks like it was just a trap. Did JP and the crew gobble up all the stops underneath the low? Or are they going to make one more run for it? A lot of times they're not happy with one pulse. They want two. The second little dip underneath these 2350s is going to be a zone of interest. How hungry is Goldman this morning? Let's see. Not hungry enough. Weak. Couldn't even tap underneath 2350, huh? Okay, well, the bulls are pushing back up pretty aggressively. Trying to get the rotation back up. I really wanted to see a trap underneath the lows. Maybe they're not done yet. I think bulls' confidence is going to be too high. They're going to buy and hold and hold and hold when I mean, it already had a parabolic move to the upside. We've got to be realistic to where we are. So a lot of traders will float their stops too tight because they're uncomfortable with the risk of putting it all the way down at the lows. Goldman will use that to their advantage. JP and the crew. I really wanted that one more dip down, but we might not get it. And if they start pulsing above those 240s, there's not going to be much left to stop them. Nice little pulse attempt back above the 240s. Secondary dip to allow the earlier sellers out, but I'm playing it on the a little bit on the slower side because, again, remember where we are. If they want to pulse underneath the low and get a good vindictive trap, that's the spot. Some responsiveness off the break even. I'm going to pull the plug on one at a small loss close to break even and float the last one because I do think that they're going to try to pull back a little bit further. If they're just going to slam this to the upside, then the move to the upside will more than compensate for the loss that I had to take, so it's fine. This puts a 2-to-1 structurally inside the highs. About there. Reduction of risk seems to have made sense. Jeez, the bulls are really stepping up down here, though. That could just be the shorts taking profit down here. Remember where we are. But every time it pulses up like this, it does respond pretty aggressively. It seems like the short-term bulls may be, you know, a little bit on the concern side, which is why I liquidated one at least. I like the dip down a little bit lower, but if it's going to take off, I still want to make sure that I'm in. Wow. Whoa! Which POC we going with here, market? Jeez. Big wick up on the top. Doesn't seem to matter, though.
So again, just going off the back of that China and US reaching a consensus on journalist visas headline, the US will issue 1-year multiple entry visas to journalists of Chinese nationality, according to China Daily citing sources.
All right, Nasdaq, what do you want to do? You actually going to get the dive this time, or are you going to go up?
China and the US will issue visas to new journalists based on applicable laws and regulations, again from China Daily citing sources.
We have some China stuff going on. We know how that works. Careful. Back up to the 230s. Every time there's a POC, it seems to drop pretty quickly off of it. It seems like bulls are nervous. But every time it makes a new low.
Bank of England says the APF gilt purchase operation cover ratio is 2-to-16, with the Bank of England gilt purchase operation fully covered, offered £2.48 billion.
POC still kind of flippy dipping around, not really doing a whole lot, and I really want that wider pullback, but they're not getting it. Jeez.
At 10 a.m. Eastern Time, we have the US business inventories month over month. Forecast 0.6%, previous 0.6%. US NAHB housing market index, forecast 80, previous 80.
Crickets all over the place. Big bear bar back down. That was out of that break-even point, so it looks like they're trying to prep for a flush. Okay, well, unfortunately for me, I'm a human. Wow, really? Wow, okay. Bottom bid, nice little push. There we go. Now we're starting to get that little overflush to the downside. Oh, geez, not there. No thanks. S&P I'll add on there as a necessity. 88.50 down to 87.50 for a hedge. Nice little pulse down into support. Now, given how fast this thing is moving, we do kind of have to play ball in a little bit of a different way. Or not. Okay. Hey, Steven, how's it going? Are you gonna let me get one more down here? No. S&P's still picking up the lows and not really following along. Honestly, this is a really nice opportune area to add to a hedge, but jeez, these candles are so back and forth. Wicks all over the place.
So in 5 minutes time at 10 a.m. Eastern time, we do have the US business inventories month over month. Forecast 0.6%, previous 0.6%. US NAHB housing market index, forecast 80, previous 80.
I'm going to add another one to the S&P. The scalp in that case would be at 88. Big bull bar back up on the Nasdaq, attempting to pressure off of the lows, but again, you know, we've got a little bit of a back and forth fight going on here. Bull's trying to get the pulse through. Looking for the final completionary move through the scalper's objective. Couldn't hang on to the last portion so far. See if this one wants to go. Otherwise, I mean, look, first off, look at the angle of the slow-moving average. That thing hasn't even began to, like, even flinch. I'm also going to drop the S&P hedge. That's unnecessary now. Need a little bit of a loss on the hedge, but it did its job. See if they want to follow through with a bit more. Awesome, RJ. Hope to see you tomorrow. Have a good one. Looking for a bit more continuation up. We're retesting these 21s. It's a challenging spot. There's a lot of gapping going on in here. Bull's trying to get the continuation move.
One minute to go now. I'll be reading the US business inventories.
News at 10.
First.
So news will impact things. Traders have the option to just simply exit where it is now into the news. Alternatively, there is, well, I'm still looking for the same objective to the upside, so I don't really necessarily have a reason to exit. But, of course, we do have to kind of figure that that objective in the 30 to 35s might happen real fast.
0.7% 0.7%, the silently forecast of 0.6%.
Whoops.
US
I didn't mean to take that extra short. Whoops. Beautiful continuation back to the upside. I fat-fingered one of the orders on that pulse higher. We got it into the objective. I took an additional loss with a fat finger. Ugh, well, welcome to life. But we got a nice little pop to the upside. Good continuation. All right, that does mean that we've got 10 o'clock, which is hitting. Obviously, today is going to be a bit of a mess, and I've got the kids and everything else going on, so how long the extended session is going to be going on is kind of arguable anyway. I'm thinking that we just kind of keep the morning room going, because I'm not sure that we're going to be here tomorrow. It depends on when the kids' testing is for the COVID testing stuff. So we'll just keep the morning room going, and then tomorrow, just because tomorrow is kind of a play it by ear, and I don't know how much longer I'm going to keep going this morning too, so I had to give my voice box a rest. So let's just keep rolling with a morning session, but get those questions in. We'll get those covered for you. Beautiful momentum up. As far as the the trades for today go,
HP November report has been posted on Financial Newsfeed if you want to have a read.
Dollars and cents aside, because again, I don't care about the dollars and cents. I just want to make sure our trader's math is good. So as far as the trader's math is concerned, we can see that today is more on the swing side of things. If you're looking at the average winning trade being 39 and the average losing trade being negative 16, it's a swing trading day. 50% accuracy on a swing trading day, relatively solid in my opinion. If we do the math though, 50-50, it's pretty easy. 50 times 39 and 50 times 16. 1950 minus 800 gives us a very solid trader's math today. So today was a really, really good day of trading, although there weren't very many trades, and I even fat-fingered one inside there. It still ended up, the numbers probably would have been a lot better if I didn't fat-finger that extra one in there. Oh well. So, I mean, as far as the numbers for today go, relatively straightforward. Good day. We'll take it.
And the U.S. business inventory September 2021.
I would try to do a Morgan Freeman voice right now, but I feel like my throat would just drop out of my it's just fall apart. Hey, Ace, just saying. I mean, didn't they make the Holy Church of Cannabis or something or other? I don't know. They've done it on a couple other hot topic things to get to with the attempt of getting around taxes. Of course, that wasn't the reason, Bullish continuation, still driving to the upside. Still not much else going on. I mean, crude oil, the one thing that crude's got going for it is a really nice dip now, retesting this wedge, but man, I really wanted to see it go a bit further up. Gold, maybe. Gold doesn't have anything until lower, though. So, still kind of an awkward spot. Oops, wrong way. Bulls continuing back to the upside for more continuation, looking for that break above the top. Big old volume chunk up here at the highs at 250. It's also a big psychological level. And here everything sits.
Iraqi cabinet approves the agreement to support Lebanon with 500,000 tons of gas oil, according to Iraq's communications minister.
Oh, I almost forgot to buy my Crow coins today. Oops. That's a nice little pullback, too. Hang on. I kind of missed some better prices, though, huh? Yeah, I'm lacking today. Bulls trying to carry it back up again. I mean, man, it's a really tough spot for them. Yeah. This next little dip down that we've got going on here, though, there may be some additional bulls trying to pick it up in the low 31.75s for a scalp back up. But, whoa, that was fast. All right, big pulse to the downside. I'm going to jump ship on that real fast. I was not expecting that kind of move. When I hit buy bid, no. I'll take the like 4 ticks or whatever. Got along at 89.50, took it off at 3 points. Nice job. Market predominantly sideways, not really doing a whole lot. I'm updating my my Crow stake. Let's see, what else is moving? Sandbox is doing incredibly well this morning. Nexo is also doing pretty well this morning. Nexo and Crow and all of those have been doing just fine. I love when I see on the gaining list USDC, USDT. Like, what do you mean? That's supposed to be pegged to the dollar. It should always be a dollar. You can really play off that, by the way. If you go to Binance, you can trade the USDC, USDT pairs, and you can buy the dips of dollars and sell dollars. It's like crypto, or it's like forex trading, but with dollar pairs, like between 2 stable coins. Really cool. Very interesting concept if you're floating a little bit heavier cash. Obviously, you've got to use a little bit more money to make that work because you're talking about fractions. Big fractions. Yeah, there is. You can actually pull a chart up for that. Hang on. Let me USDC, USDT on Binance. It's this guy right here. So if you're looking at USDC USDT pair trading, this, I mean, it is, you're trading the dollar for the dollar, literally, but if you look, that does have some nice little dips. But, I mean, again, we're talking about massive fractions here. The dip down at the lows to the rip on the highs is 0.75%. Right, so in order to make this work, first off, you have to overcome commissions. Second of all, you have to be utilizing some big position sizes. Right, it's the same concept as Forex. Right, it's like a 500 to 1 leverage. Same concept. But you float $1 million position on a 0.75% gain. That's still really good. It's just those stupid commissions. Market just going a little bit herky-jerky sideways. Not giving me a whole lot of confidence, honestly, where we're at. Bulls attempting to get more continuation up back in those 240s, but getting stuck. All right. Well, I'm not seeing any reason to put any more risk on the table, honestly, and I kind of want to take a break so my voice doesn't go away for the rest of the day. So I have calls and things that I've got to do. So, that's going to do it for the morning session. Get the questions in real quick. We'll do a final call for questions, and we'll wrap it up. Like I said, I know it's a little bit of an early day, and we didn't have an extended session for YouTube members and all that. I know. It's a bit messy today. Tomorrow might not even happen. Bear with me for the couple days, and then we'll be back ready to rock and roll. I know you guys are fine. It's mostly me. It upsets me more than it does you guys. You guys are always really understanding. It pisses me off. I hate missing work. It drives me nuts. Well, when you love what you do, I guess. You know, it's a different... that helps. I used to say that I hated the weekends, but then crypto came out, you know. Oh, man. Yeah, thank you. Fingers crossed all the testing and everything goes well tomorrow. I'll keep you guys in the loop. I'll make some posts either way. Let you guys know what's going on. If you don't see me log in, again, today we were a little bit late, like 9:10-ish when we started up. You know, if tomorrow it doesn't start up by like 9:30, obviously it's probably not going to happen. So I think the tests are scheduled for like 12:30, but they're like 45 minutes away. The only one that was close to us was like for Sunday. I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. That's not happening. So I'll drive 45 minutes. That's fine. So tomorrow might be a little bit awkward. We'll see what happens. I'll keep you guys in the loop either way. But if it doesn't kick off and you don't hear anything from me, I'm probably on the road. And then we'll be back on Thursday. Tomorrow is Wednesday, though. So remember, Tuesday, that means API report, crude oil inventories tomorrow. Give us an idea as to what to expect. If I miss any questions, you can always drop them in the comments below on the YouTube side or shoot me an email, jhb@ssftg.com. If you forget that, you can hit the contact form at the bottom of the page, too. Either way, you're all good to go. So enjoy the rest of the day. I hope you had a fantastic day of trading, and we will see you all maybe tomorrow morning, otherwise back on Thursday, all right? Talk to y'all later. Thanks.